So moving on to accrued interest here. What we have is we're going to have partial periods sometimes where a company either accrues for 2 months out of 6 months, or we amortize a premium for 2 months out of 6 months. So in this case, I want you just to make it a number like 2 over 6 and just multiply it by that number. So in this situation, we have an accrual of 4,000, but we're really including only a third of it based on the fact that it's just been around for 2 months. Now, we also have a cost of issuing bonds, and those are treated as deferred charges and are amortized over the life of the debt. So if we have a bond issue cost of $245,000, and we include it as part of the unamortized bond issue cost, is a bond issue expense. Okay? Now, when we have extinguishment of debt, it's all about the carrying value of the bond as opposed to the price you extinguish it at. So, for example, if I go ahead and I say I'm going to extinguish this debt at 2 different points. One is here 12/31/13, and the other one is 6/30/15. And I'm going to tell you I'm going to buy it back for $1,050,000 in both pieces. Okay, I'm gonna buy it back, right? So it's gonna be, I'm paying more than it's worth. I'm paying more than it's worth, so I'm gonna be losing money. In this case, $68,000 at June 30th, and $114,794 if I redeem it at 12/31/13. Now, if they told me, hey, listen, you could buy it back at $900,000, then I would be making money, $35,000. Why? Because I'm paying less than what it's worth. Right now, it's worth $935,000. I'm paying $900,000, so I'm making money on the transaction. So going back to the PowerPoint, that's what extinguishment of debt is all about. It's always going to be, what are you reacquiring at? And what's the actual carrying value of this bond right now? And then you're going to have a loss or a gain. Okay? Alright, and then you book the journal entry for the extinguishment, remove the bond payable, you book the cash, you book the loss or the gain, and you remove the discount. Okay? Now, moving on to notes payable. Really, notes payable is just like a bond. The only difference with notes is that it's shorter term. So the examples we're going to do is exactly the same. This example I have here that you're going to have as well, it might as well be called a note because it's 3 years. So it's not anything different. So you can just rely on that when you study the bond itself. So booking out the note, we have a similar table here. Discount being amortized, we have an expense that we're dealing with, and we have similar journal entries that we're working with. So the idea is I want you to focus on primarily learning how to do this, and then when we get to the exercises, we're going to practice each of the specifics of journal entries. I feel like it's easier to do journal entries when you do the examples, but first you have to understand how we're booking all of these transactions. And I'm going to talk a little bit about journal entries in the next piece, and also go over the homework and exactly what we're going to be doing.